All praises due to the Most High, family. We back with another Acres anime review. I just finished watching episode 11 of Clevatess. And I love this series. But low-key, I need y'all help understanding the end of this episode. But so let's get into it. Alicia was momentarily defeated by Drell, and so Drell is headed to the forge, and Alicia low-key trying to chase him down. Now on the way to chasing Drell down, she run into the princess, and she let the princess know that she's the only surviving hero, that her son is still alive, and that Drell is heading to the forge. And so she's saying, I need to get to the forge. I need to defeat Drell. And the princess is saying, well, I'm going with you because I need to see my son. And Alicia say, well, no, you're the princess. Like, I got to keep you safe. But the princess not having that. So they headed to the forge together. And they're trying to chase down Drell. And okay, so that's a setup there. Now we skip to Clem in the forge, right? These are the two parts of the episode. Was the drama between Alicia and Drell and the battle going on outside, and Clem and the king in the forge. So Clem in the forge. And remember, the king that Clem killed himself, he's headless at this moment. He's literally carrying his own head, which is like crazy in and of itself, right? But so he got Luna, and he's literally going to throw Luna into the forge. Now, Clem uses shadow powers and stop him for a moment, and he start asking him questions. He's like, what's making you do this? And like, that's your grandson, isn't it? And he says, yeah, it is my grandson. He's like, okay, so why would you do that? Do you not care about your grandson? Like, is he not to be the future king? And the king explained that this is like a ritual for the kings to participate in. Like, you go into the forge and you're reborn, and then this is what makes you maintain the will of the forge. And so he say there's usually a ritual though that you put the to-be king's name in the forge, something like that. So basically we learned that who we call Luna, who we know is the royal-blooded Hedinian, got two other names, and I remember Toth. The other one was Heroditus or something like that. The fourth, I think. So this is proof that he a royal-blooded Hedinian, and that I guess the intention is to make him king, but basically putting him in the forge makes him a slave to the forge. Like, so that makes him like a superficial king. If they can't really act on their own will, they're just doing the bidding of whoever set up this forge. And so this is what I need y'all help like understanding, is like the end of the episode. We kind of dive into that. But so what ended up happening is, it looked like the king threw the baby in the forge, but Clem, and using his shadow powers to stop him momentarily, switched the babies out. So what we saw was thrown into the forge was only a shadow that Clem made. And so Clem had the baby. Now, because the king failed to manifest the will of the forge, like the forge just ate him up. Like his puppet body just fell into the forge, right? And so then Clem sees what the master of the forge is. And it's a book. It's a book of Toa is what he called it. And so if you remember in the first episode, family, Clevatess, Clem, had mentioned that he hadn't seen humans in 1,000 years. And so that's what it seems like how old this book is. And so Drell outside, we're going to get to the fight between Drell and them, but Drell is saying outside that, well, that's what he said last episode. He said that his escapades with Margot educated him that the kings are sending heroes on false missions. They know that they can't complete these missions, but they're sending them anyway. And so Clem comes to the realization that this book, who is the master of the forge, has to be some creation from the true humans. That's how Drell referred to them. The true humans who set this whole conflict up. So the true humans, for some reason that I don't understand, set up like this permanent conflict between the humans that we're seeing, the 5 races of the kingdom, and the dark beasts. And so Clem comes to the realization, he's like, is that why I'm like a Lord of the Dark Beast, is to fend off this new race of humans? Like, am I just a pawn in the true humans game? And so Clem is obviously turned off. He's obviously like upset at this realization. And so he's like, okay, I'm uninterested. He dropped Luna, and he says, I'm going back to the mountain. And he's upset. Before he said that, he said he was upset because the other 2 of the other Lord of Dark Beasts, he's like, they probably understand this because Clevatess became a Lord of the Dark Beast about 1,000 years ago. The other 2 are older than that. So he's like, they probably understand this. And that's why one of them is manipulating Drell it seems like he's just trying to destroy the forge. And so Clem becomes disinterested, and he just leave everything, and he's going back home. That's the best of my understanding of what went down in Clem's analysis of the situation. Now, on the outside, though, while Clem was coming to that realization, Drell is still very much trying to break in and destroy the forge, I think. Or at least, like, take the powers of the forge. But what is he going to do with it? He's just going to take over the rest of the race's kingdoms on behalf of a Lord of the Dark Beast. Right? And so, like I said, the Dark Beast must feel like they're a pawn in the true humans game, and they're just like, I don't know, it's like eternal conflict. And so I guess this Lord of the Dark Beast has come to the conclusion that in order to end the conflict, they have to destroy the forge or take over the forge, which is perpetuating this cycle of the king sending heroes to fight the Lord of the Dark Beast, knowing that they can't win though. So it's like an ultimate and perpetual and repeating sacrifice is like the best way that I can like make sense of that. But so anyway, so Alicia fighting Drell, and this was the fun part of the episode, but Alicia fighting Drell, and Rhodes come in, who fought Drell early in an earlier episode. And so we 2-manning this dude, and we putting up a decent fight, because we're 2 heroes with 2 regalia fighting Drell. But Drell is, it seems like he's invincible at this point, because Alicia realized he's totally made of dark ether. So it's like, how can we actually defeat him? Unless maybe like we take his regalia or break his regalia, which is what the princess tried to do. But he low-key leveled up. He had more eyes open up on his head. He transformed. We see he's got magic stones in his body too. And so while it was like a cool little fight that we had, and it seemed like we was putting up a good one, but he transformed, and now Alicia is missing her hand. I know she can recover like broken bones and stuff, but can she replace like a missing hand? That I don't know. And so she's not armed anymore with her regalia, so it's low-key looking dire for her and Rhodes. It looked like Drell got the upper hand, so I don't know. And then Clinton has given up, so it looked like the Lord of the Dark Beast and Drell is about to achieve their means.